People often talk about success as if it's some mystical destination you stumble upon when the stars aligned, when you're in the right mindset, when things feel right, or when motivation strikes. But that's not how any of this works. If you're waiting for motivation to get started, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Motivation is unstable. It comes and goes, flickering in and out like a faulty light bulb. You can't build a life or a future on something so unreliable. What you need is discipline, because discipline is the gatekeeper. It's the force that stands between you and every single goal you say you want. Think about it. Every worthwhile pursuit, whether it's building a business, getting in shape, learning a skill, healing a relationship, it all demands effort. Real, consistent, often painful effort. And that effort has to come especially when you don't feel like it. That's where people fall apart. They say they want change, but they're only willing to work for it when it's convenient. That's not commitment. That's fantasy. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to be willing to force yourself to take action when every fiber of your being screams for comfort, for distraction, for escape. Discipline isn't about being inhuman. It's not about denying that you're tired or overwhelmed or afraid. It's about what you do anyway, despite those things. It's about recognizing that those feelings are real, but they do not get the final say. You do. You always do. And the person who understands that, truly understands it, becomes unstoppable. Because once you stop needing to feel like it and you start acting because it's necessary, you become dangerous to everything that once held you back. But here's the hard truth. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's waking up early when the bed is warm. It's turning off the TV and doing the work. It's choosing the gym over the couch, the book over the phone, the quiet grind over the easy thrill. It's boring. It's hard. It's relentless. But it's also where character is forged. It's where self-respect is built, and it's the only path to the goals you say matter to you. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. That's the harsh and liberating reality. Because if that's true, and it is, then success isn't some far-off miracle. It's a daily decision. It's the moment where you could make an excuse and you don't. It's the moment where you could stop and you choose to keep going. And over time, those decisions compound. They transform you. They turn you into someone you never thought you could be. So the question is simple. Are you willing to be uncomfortable long enough to become someone capable of achieving the life you want? Are you willing to force yourself forward when everything inside you says, stay still? Because if you truly are, then there's nothing outside of your reach. There's a dangerous idea circulating in our culture right now, a deeply seductive one, who whispers to people that their feelings are sacred, that they must always be honored, obeyed, even prioritized above all else. Now, feelings are real, they're powerful, they're part of being human, and they deserve to be acknowledged. But let's be very clear about something. Your feelings are not your master. They are not the commanders of your actions. They don't get to determine the trajectory of your life unless you allow them to. You can feel tired and still get up. You can feel afraid and still take the next step. You can feel doubt, anxiety, boredom, frustration, and none of those feelings mean you're incapable. They just mean you're alive. But if you let those emotions dictate your behavior, you'll never build anything meaningful. Because anything worth building, a purpose, a career, a legacy, requires you to act in direct defiance of your feelings again and again. Think about it. If a person only acts when they feel like it, what kind of life are they actually living? They become reactive, tossed around by every emotional shift like a ship with no anchor. If they feel sad, they don't try. If they feel scared, they don't move. If they feel uninspired, they wait, sometimes forever. That's not freedom. That's slavery to emotion. That's a slow and quiet self-destruction disguised as self-care. But when you choose to act regardless of how you feel, something incredible happens. You reclaim control. You take the wheel. You say to yourself, yes, I feel this, but I am not this. And that's a powerful realization, because the moment you separate who you are from what you feel, you begin to understand that you are something far greater than your passing moods. You are the one who decides. This is the beginning of personal strength, doing what is right, what is necessary, what is aligned with your purpose, not what is comfortable. Growth doesn't happen in the comfortable. It happens when you say, I'm afraid, but I'll speak anyway. I'm tired, but I'll work anyway. I'm uncertain, but I'll try anyway. That's courage. That's integrity. That's how you build a spine strong. Enough to carry the weight of responsibility. And make no mistake, responsibility is the antidote to chaos. It's what stabilizes you when the world gets unpredictable, when your feelings betray you, when things start to fall apart. Because they will. That's life. The question isn't whether you face moments of doubt or despair. The question is, what will you do when those moments come? That's where your power lies. Not in how you feel, but in how you respond. Every time you act in defiance of weakness, you chip away at the part of you that wants to quit, the part of you that wants to stay small. And what's left behind is strength. Not comfort, not ease, but the kind of strength that endures. So no, your feelings are not the enemy, but they are not the ruler either. They're messengers, not masters. Listen to them, sure. Acknowledge them, but never let them stop you from doing what must be done. Because the moment you stop obeying your feelings and start obeying your highest values, you become dangerous to everything that once held you back. We live in a world obsessed with big moments, the spotlight, the dramatic transformation, the overnight success. And because of that, people become blind to the truth of how real change actually happens. They wait for a breakthrough, for some massive leap forward that will change everything. But life doesn't work that way. Success, true, sustainable success, isn't the result of one grand gesture. It's built brick by brick on small, consistent victory. You see, it's easy to underestimate the power of small wins. They don't look impressive. No one applauds you for waking up 10 minutes earlier, or for choosing a healthy meal, or for sitting down to work when you'd rather be scrolling through your phone. But those seemingly insignificant decisions, that daily discipline, that quiet consistency, they compound, they stack. And over time, they become the foundation of something extraordinary. This is the principle you need to understand. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. In fact, trying to do that usually ends in failure. Because when people try to change everything all at once, they get overwhelmed. They burn out. They fall short and spiral back into old habits, feeling even more defeated than before. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be persistent. The goal is to be just a little bit better than you were yesterday, and then do that again tomorrow, and again the day after that. Let's say you set a goal to write a book. That's overwhelming, right? Hundreds of pages, dozens of revisions. But what if you wrote just 1 page a day? Not 10, not 5, just 1. In a year, you'd have a manuscript. That's the power of compounding effort. And it applies to everything. One workout doesn't make you fit, but one workout repeated consistently transforms your body. An honest conversation doesn't heal a broken relationship, but showing up again and again in truth and humility can restore it. But here's the challenge. Small wins don't feel good in the moment, They're not exciting. They're not glamorous. No one notices them, and often they don't even feel like progress. That's why people give up. They think, what's the point? I'm not seeing results. But the results aren't immediate. They come inevitable. The seed planted today isn't the fruit you eat tomorrow. There's a gap between effort and outcome. And the only way to bridge that gap is through consistent, disciplined action. You need to learn to fall in love with the process, to celebrate the small things, the 10 extra minutes of focus, the early morning wake up, the difficult task you chose to do instead of delay. Those are the victories that no one sees, but they're the ones that matter most because they prove something to yourself. They tell you, I can do this. I am doing this. And once you prove that to yourself enough times, you begin to believe it. You begin to become it. Eventually, you'll look back and realize that all those tiny, unimpressive choices were actually the most important ones.